Make a magic ring, then insert the hook inside, yarn over, pull through and chain 1. Make 15 double crochet inside the magic ring. Once you get all 15 double crochet inside the magic ring, just try to pull that yarn under a little bit, slip stitch on top of the first double crochet stitch to join. Chain 5. Single crochet into the second chain from the hook, half double crochet into the next chain, double crochet into the next chain, triple double crochet into the last chain, whereby you have to yarn over twice. Skip 2 stitches, then slip stitch into the third stitch. Chain 5. Chain 5 and just repeat everything you have done for the previous star tail. And just repeat the same process until you have a total of 5 star tails. To complete the last star tail, you have to slip stitch into the first stitch you have started with. Chain 1 to close and you can cut off the yarn because next you are going to switch to a different yarn color. Make a slip knot or just fold the yarn like I did. Slip stitch into the back loop of one of the star tail, but only using back loops. Chain 1 to secure. Then make a single crochet back into that same stitch. Half double crochet into the next, double crochet into the next, extended double crochet into the next, then triple double crochet into the last stitches as well as the first stitch for the next star tail. For the extended double crochet, instead of pulling the first 2 loops, first just pull through the first loop, then over pull through the next 2 loops and just complete the left 2 loops on the hook. Make triple double crochet the last 2 stitches together. Actually, the last stitch for the first start tail you have started with and the first stitch for the next start tail. But remember to stick to only back loops. Make extended double crochet, half double crochet all the way up in each stitch. Once you made half double crochet into the last stitch for the tip of the star, then move it to the other side of the start tail by starting off with a single crochet, half double crochet, extended double crochet, then triple double crochet for the last stitches, 2 together, and just continue doing that all the way up and down until you are fully done with this row all round. At the end, slip stitch on top of the first single crochet you have started with to secure your work. Chain 1, but do not cut off the yarn. Half double crochet into that same stitch. Single crochet into the next 3 stitches. Half double crochet into the next stitch, double crochet into the next stitch, extended double crochet into the next stitch, then triple double crochet into the next stitch. Chain 2, then triple double crochet back into the same stitch to create your first corner. Extended double crochet into the next stitch, double crochet into the next stitch, half double crochet into the next stitch, then thread single crochet into the next 3 stitches. Half double crochet into the next stitch, double crochet into the next stitch, extended double crochet into the next stitch, triple double crochet into the next stitch, chain 2, triple double crochet back into the same stitch to create your second corner. And just repeat the same process until you have a total of 4 corners. Slip stitch on top of the first half double crochet you have started with to join, then you can cut off the yarn. Once you slip stitch, don't forget to chain one to secure your work before you cut off the yarn. So to begin, just make a slip knot, or can just fold the yarn like this and start in one of the chain space. Remember to grab only the front panels, only the front loop for both squares, and make sure your squares are facing the same side. Just pull the yarn through like this, chain one to secure, and make a slip stitch into that same stitch like that, and just continue making slip stitch in each front loops for both squares all the way. Just like that. So just continue joining. I'm trying to make the right side facing down and the wrong side facing up like this. So, and I have joined with a slip knot, with a slip stitch. So, and I have already started off camera, as you can see, and this is how the outside of the cardigan is going to look like. So just like this, make sure, since there is chain 2 in each corner, try to start in the first chain like this, only grabbing this loop that's facing you. Since there are these 2 loops, as you can see, there's this loop on the other side and this loop that's facing you. So we are going to work in these loops, the one facing you, and for the other square you're going to use the loop that's facing the other side like this. And just make a slip knot, make a slip stitch like that. And that's just how you're going to join your squares together. Just continue making a slip stitch in 2 back loops. Then once you get 4 like this, 1 2 3 4, at the end here, make sure you have ended in one of the chain space. Remember, in each corner there's chain 2 spaces. We have worked in both of them into the last one. That's the last one you're going to end with. Just chain 1 and cut off the yarn, because next you're going to start attaching your squares, going all the way like this, attaching them. Just chain 1 and cut off the yarn. So since this is the back panel, I'm still going to add 2 more squares on the other side like this, going up before I can join them across this way. Then once you reach here, you're going to attach, once you reach here, you're going to add another square here. And here, just to continue attaching these ones to this one. I'll meet you once I reach this part to show you how I'm going to do this part. So then once you reach this point, next you're going to attach your squares together. So make sure you're going to grab this one, the one from the side that you have already worked on. You have to come to just to grab the first chain on this other square like this, as well as on the other square. And just make a slip stitch like that. So just continue doing that into the next chain's back loop, just like that. And this is how your work must start to look like. So now just continue doing the same. Then once you reach here again, make sure you're going to add another square. You're going to add another square here and just do the same thing. I have attached these squares together. Once you come here, just remember to start working into this square before go to this other square. Then make a slip stitch, then just continue all the way until the end. Then once you reach the end, always remember to chain one before cut off the yarn. Then you must proceed until you have a total of 4 squares across like this for the back panel, and all the way going down like this there must be 4 squares. And that's just how your back panel for this cardigan is going to look like. So here is the back panel for the cardigan. It consists of 16 star granny squares, and this is the outside part of my cardigan, and this is the inside. You can pretty much join them with any yarn color of your choice. And these are my 2 front panels. Both of them, each one of them they consist of 8 star granny squares like this. And these are my sleeves. For sleeves, they both consist of 12 star granny squares. And you can also use any yarn color of your choice. So next I'm just going to join everything together. Just make sure when you are joining your pieces, make sure for the back panel, the wrong side is the one that must be facing down like this. And you must attach your front panels. Like this. For front panels, make sure the wrong side is facing up like this. So you're going to attach them like this. And make sure you're going to attach them with a slip stitch, the same we have done for joining your squares together, by working only in 2 front loops like this, shoulders up like this. Then once you are done joining your front panels, then you can add your sleeves. Then you'll be adding your sleeves like this. Just make sure your sleeves, even the wrong side is the one that's facing out like this. So just go ahead first and join your front panels to the back panel. For joining, just the same thing as I said, like you have done for joining your squares together. You can make a slip knot or just fold the yarn. And always remember to start in this chain 1 space, in one of the chain 2 space. Make sure both squares you are grabbing only the front panel, the front loop. Chain 1, then just insert the hook back into that loop, then grab the front loop for the other part, which is the back panel in this case. Just slip stitch. You can use any yarn color of your choice. In my case, I managed to get the other same yarn color. So just go ahead joining the same way you have joined your squares until you are fully attaching your pieces together. So when you are attaching your sleeves, make sure you have folded them in half like this and try to grab the middle stitch. And you can mark it with a stitch marker like this. Then try to place the stitch marker where this front and back panel have met. And just do the same thing for the other sleeve. This is just to make it easy when you are attaching your sleeves to your front and back panels like this. So next you are just going to attach them like this. Make sure you are still going to work in front loops only, all the way. Like you can start from here going all the way like this, shoulder down. Then once you reach here, you can go all the way attaching your sleeves together like this, all the way until you reach the cuffs like this. Then after that you can come start working on the sides of the cardigan, and just make sure you're going to do the same thing on both sides of the cardigan. So to make edgings for this cardigan, as you can see, I'm fully now attached all the pieces together, and this is just how my cardigan looks like. For cuffs, I have already done them off camera, as you can see. So now I'm just going to show you how we are going to work like across this front panel and the back panel, which is the hem of the cardigan. So actually, to do that, you're just going to start working in one of the first chain one space here, all the way around the neck here, by making a single crochet using any yarn color of your choice until you reach this other second chain one here at the base here. Then once you reach there, I'll meet you to show you how I'm going to do that. So like I said, just make a slip knot, or you can just fold the yarn, whatever works for you. Then just start in one of these chain one here, and remember this time around you must grab both loops. Since your corners have chain 2 spaces, then you must start in the second chain. Chain 1 to fully attach your yarn. Then make a single crochet back into that same chain space. You can mark it with a stitch marker to keep track of your work, but it's very optional. Now make a single crochet into the next chain, and remember you must grab both loops. Then continue making single crochet in each stitch across all the way up until you reach the neck here. Then come all the way down until you reach this part. I'll make sure once I reach this part to come show you the next step. Once you reach the end here, chain 1 and turn your work, because next you are going to make the ribbing panel. And to do so now chain 8. Once you get 8 chains, now make a single crochet into the second chain from the hook, and continue making single crochet in each chain all the way until the base of this chain. At the end you must have a total of 8. You must have only a total of single crochet stitches. Do not include the first turning chain one, because that one does not count as a stitch. So once you reach the end here, slip stitch into this next stitch, as well as into the next stitch. Chain 1, turn your work. Remember that turning chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So next you're going to work into back loops. So you must start working into this first stitch, and remember to keep sticking to 7 stitches throughout. Do not increase or decrease. So just continue working into back loops until the second last stitch, because into the last stitch you are going to work into both loops to avoid your work from overstretching. Into this last stitch, grab both loops, then make a single crochet into them. Chain 1, turn your work, and just repeat. But start working into the first stitch from the hook, then continue working in each stitch all the way down. Remember to stick to 7 stitches throughout. Do not increase or decrease. So once you reach here, you must always slip stitch into this very first stitch, as well as into the next stitch. Chain 1 always, and just repeat. Continue doing that all the way until end of this. Just continue doing that all the way up around the neck until you reach this side where you have started. Once you reach here, I'll meet you to come show you the next step, because next you're going to start working at the bottom part of your cardigan, which is the hem of the cardigan. And whereas you're going to do something slightly different from the front panels, it's going to be a little bit something similar to how you have done your cuffs, because next you are going to skip stitches when you are making your ribbing panels for the hem, as well as the same thing I have done for cuffs. You're going to skip stitches. So what I mean next, when you're going to skip stitches for the hem, and the same thing I have done for cuffs, actually we are just going to do the same thing, but when you're attaching your ribbing panel to the project, you're going to skip stitches between here. So which means you will just be slip stitching into the first stitch as usual, like this. Slip stitch like that. Then instead of slip stitching into the next stitch, you're going to skip this, make the stitch and slip stitch into the next stitch like this. Chain 1 and turn your work, then just continue with the pattern like that. And that's just going what you are going to do for the hem as well as for cuffs. But for this part, which is front panels, do not skip any stitches, just continue making slip stitches in each stitch until you are done with your ribbing panel. Then for cuffs and the bottom part of the cardigan, you are going to skip stitches. Everything other than that, everything is going to be done the same way. So once you are done working across your front panels like this, at the end make sure you have chained 1 and cut off the yarn, because next you are going to work at the bottom of the cardigan, and you are going to start working in this first chain for this part, and you're going to work across all the way until you reach this part by making single crochet in each stitch all the way like this until you reach this other part here for this ribbed part. Then once you reach here, just chain 8 and make a ribbing panel. So which means just make a slip knot and start in one of these stitch here, the 7th one actually, and remember this time around you are grabbing both loops. Chain 1 to fully secure, then make a single crochet into that back same stitch, then continue making single crochet across the bottom part of the cardigan all the way until you reach this part. Then once you reach this part, chain 8, then just continue doing the same thing I have done to make the ribbing panel. And make sure you're making the ribbing panel for this hem or the bottom part of the cardigan, make sure you are skipping the stitch when slip stitching. So once you reach the end here, chain 1 and turn your work. Next, chain 8. Then make a single crochet into the second chain from the hook and continue making single crochet in each chain all the way down. Then make sure at the end you must have a total of 7 stitches, which means that turning chain 1 does not count as a stitch. Where I said you must skip stitches when you are attaching this ribbing panel to the cardigan, it's only when you want your hem to be closed together. But if you want a normal straight edge, then you must not skip any stitch. Just do the same thing you have done for front panels when you have attached the hem to, when you have attached your ribbing panel for front panels to the main. Whereas make a slip stitch into that first stitch, you can skip this stitch and slip stitch into the next stitch. If you don't want any, want just your bottom part of the cardigan to be straight the same way you have done with your front panels, then you must not skip that stitch. I'm just saying you must skip your stitches like that if you want your bottom part to be like your cuffs like this. Like in my case, they are so close to each other this way, so which means you must skip a stitch if you want it to look like a bit puffy this way. But if you want it to be straight flat, then you must not skip any stitch. So just go ahead and do whatever you prefer all the way until the end. At the end, chain 1, turn your work, and you can cut off the yarn. Then you can weave in your ends.